violent vertical edge setter.
I see some ass on the edge. Get that mic up and put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop, you're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird, dude. Worse than that side.
Well, all right, everybody. Here we are back again at the old After Hours Jets Fest. My name is GreenBean, and I'm happy to be here with you at this late hour. Currently, it is 10:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the wonderful day of April Fool's Day. I got to tell you, it's 10:36 p.m., and this is the first April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2025, that I have not witnessed not one April Fool's joke. Since I'm a little kid in elementary school, I've always seen an April Fool's joke. Somebody goes, hey, my this happened. And you go, really? And they go, April Fool's. And I didn't see any of that this year. Did anybody do a good April Fool's Day joke to somebody or something like that? You know what they say? You know why today is really April Fool's Day? Do you know what it is? You guys know why it's April Fool's Day? Emanon, Bishop, Mitt Flair, do you guys know? Ant Jets? The real reason is because this used to be New Year's Day. Way back. This used to be New Year's when we had a 13-month calendar. And it makes sense, too, because you think April 1st being like, you know, obviously March 21st being the official day of spring, but April 1st would be the start of the new year. It's spring. The flowers are blooming. The birds are coming out. The trees are getting little tiny little leaf buds. They're ready to turn green for you and give your hedges that nice barrier, the privacy that you so crave, so you can be, you know, have a naked pool party and things like that. Well, they took that away from us and they said, now it's going to be January 1st, which makes no sense. Why would the middle of winter be the beginning of the year? Why? Nobody thinks about this shit. But that's what they say. Braden from New Zealand knows. They're dying down here, mate. This is the end of the year for Braden. Braden down there in the beautiful country of New Zealand, which we all know. If you say, well, how do you know it's beautiful? You ever been there? And I would have to answer honestly. I'd have to say, no, I have not been there. But I did watch The Lord of the Rings. So I know very much what Third Earth or New Earth, whatever the hell they called it. What did they call it in Lord of the Rings? I'm like a Lord of the Rings nerd, and I can't remember. What do they call it? New Earth? Third Earth? Third Earth was Thundercats, I think. Remember Cheetara, everybody? Thundercats! Remember? With the sword and Lion-O and Snarf. There we go. Middle Earth. Braden knows. If anybody's going to know, what I say, Third Earth, New Earth. New Earth is the book by Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. Jake checking in early. What's up, Jake, my buddy? Sorry for no joke. I blew out my teeth at VCU. April Fools, right? Isn't that right? Or I hope it's. I don't want to hear that Jake blew his teeth out, everybody. Well, Jake, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't you a police officer, sir? Do I have that right, Jake? I believe you're a police officer. So all of a sudden, you know, I don't want to, you know, if that's the case and Jake's teeth are out, then that's not good. You know, it means that he had a tough day at work over at VCU, which is Virginia Commonwealth University in my world. Snarf, right, infrared. Thank you, Jake. Let me know if you're a police officer. I believe you are. Let's see. Braden says he went to Hobbiton at Christmas time. It was better than in the movies. Dude, I tell you, man, I so desire to go to that. I want to go to what the fuck's it? Well, come on, at Hobbiton, but it's come on. Bilbo Bag End. Yeah, Bag End. That's what I want to do. I want to go to Bag End and I want to open that door. The round door. You know what I really want to do, everybody? I want to dig. I have some land. And my wife and I talk about it all the time. It's in our paradigm here. It's like we speak it into existence. What I want, if my business does well, which I think it's going to, I have every faith in the world. One of the first things I buy is what's called a Kubota. Who knows what a Kubota is? I want a Kubota. And we're going to dig myself. I'm going to dig. So I have some land and there's a part of it that, it's like it goes down into like this little, it's a dry river, a dry creek. So like when it rains, there's, water. But I want to dig into the side of it and I want to make a hobbit house into the side of my hill. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Where's Jake? Is he a cop? I want to know if he's a cop. So we can give him the proper April Fool's Day respect that he deserves. He deserves. I know, but I know, Aaron, but I love Kubotas. I mean, you could go get a New Holland, or I don't want John Deere. I'm not into it. But Kubota, New Holland, you could get a small case or a cat. There's some other brands out there, but I love Kubotas. Let's see who else is in here. Matt's in here. Dog, what up, dog? And we're going to talk about some Jets. We're going to talk about some draft, some prospects. Let's talk about some of these guys that we like, We'll also talk about Aaron Glenn's comments a little bit and whatever you guys want to discuss in Jetland or otherwise. That's what we do here. We have the Jets at the center of what we're doing always, right? That's what we do on this channel, the GreenBean Jetsfan channel. We talk Jets, but we also, especially on this show, so the Jets are at the center. We like to veer off a little bit, hang out over here. We like to veer off, hang out over here, right? And that's what's allowed. That's what we do. We wrap up the night in after hours fashion. Jets, Gary's in the house. What's up, GreenBean? What's up with you? Keep putting the work and grind. Thank you, my friend. I am working a lot right now. Truth is, at 52 years old, I didn't think I'd be working this much, but it's better. This is the way I look at it always. And I said this when I was 42. So when I'm 62, I'm going to look back at 52 and think, why didn't I do it? Right? I was still so young. I was still so healthy. That's what happens. I said it at 42. When I'm 52, I'm going to look back at 42. And when I was 42, I was a part of a group. We built a massive national healthcare agency, and I did quite well for a long time, but it wasn't mine. You know what I mean? I had a profit share piece and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't mine. This one's mine. Not only mine, my partner's, but this one's me. This one's mine and my partner's. But I'm just saying, like, I'm part of the ownership group. So I got to do it now. So I'm working my ass off, but this one's going to be big. You guys want to see it? You guys want to see the company? I'm going to do a poll and see it because I don't want to bore you, but I'll show you the new, the rebrand and everything. Okay. Do you want to see GreenBean's company? Okay. Yes. No. Talk Jets already. All right. Here we go. There we go. Bleeding Green's in the house. What's up with you, buddy boy? Yeah, I did. I saw most of it, Bleeding Green. The Dom and Ryan did a really good interview yesterday. If you didn't catch it, the great thing about YouTube videos is you can go back and you can check it out. So it was yesterday before we did the 10 o'clock mock. Dom and Ryan always do the 9 p.m. show. So they were able to do that. And it was a good interview with a young, a draft prospect. So it's about 20, 25 minutes, I'd say. A really great interview. Let's see who else we got in here. So Braden's in the house, as we know. Infrared's here. Eminon's here. Jalen Messina. What's up with Jalen Messina? How you doing, buddy? That's our college student. He's gotten accepted to Liberty University, everybody. Another great Virginia school down there. That's where Antonio Gandy Golden, and already I forget him. Malik Willis came out of Liberty. He did quite well in spot duty and in the backup duty for Jordan Love up there in Green Bay, as we know. I'm just blowing through seltzers tonight, guys. Holy cow. I'm a thirsty fella. Hold on. I am blowing seltzer number 4. Let's see who else we got in here. Sean Dog's in the house. What's up, Sean Dog? Says, what's up, GreenBean? I just got home from rehab on Saturday. It was my first time. My dad's nickname was also Bean, and he also lived in Newark and West Orange. Wow, maybe I am your father in a weird way. Well, Sean Dog, congrats. Let me know what rehab you went to. Did you go away or anything? And I wish you well, my friend. Sincerely, I went to a number of rehabs in my day, more detoxes than rehabs, but I can honestly tell you, that in 2006, in January, the end of January, so January 26th, it was, of 2006, they sent me down to Miami and to a rehab called Transitions in North Miami Beach. And it changed my life. It changed my life. And I was essentially a homeless man at the time. Like when I went down to rehab, my family cut me off entirely. And the rehab literally bought me underwear and socks. My mother shipped me down a few things a month after I was there, after she started talking to me again a little bit. Like I was destitute. I had one wear of dirty ass steel-toed work boots. I was walking around. I had a couple pairs of pants, couple shirts, and I just walked around this rehab in Miami with fucking dirty work boots and everything. But it changed my life. And then right after that, like right there, I met my now wife in early recovery. I met all my best friends, two of my business partners. I met in that phase. 2006, almost 20 years ago. I met them there. My best friends, my closest friends, I met in that first year down there. Some of them I was in that rehab with, some of them, right after or whatever. But that period, that changed my life, man. Now I got 2 beautiful kids. I have, in my opinion, the best possible wife in the world for me. I think she's gorgeous. She's smart. She's hilarious. She gets the joke. I can be my disgusting self, and she thinks I'm the funniest thing since sliced bread. Still to this day. She was laughing at me just this morning. She woke me up laughing at. She said she woke me up this morning and told me a joke. She reiterated a joke I told her yesterday. So she was laughing. So come on. So good for you, Sean Dog. I hope it sticks. Just don't forget. It doesn't. It's what we do every day after it. You know what I mean? It's made that maintenance, that continued growth, buddy. So who's Aaron Daniels said his buddy went to Hobbiton and left. I want to go there so bad. It's crazy. Yeah, John Deere is worse than Kubota. Let's see what else we got. Jaylee says, the tonight's theme, Woody Johnson sells the Jets. Well, I want to get behind this idea. That like the positive fact that this is looking more and more every day like it's Aaron Glenn's team, right? Now, it's easy to say, of course it's Aaron Glenn's team, right? It's Robert Saleh's team. It was Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas. Before that, it was Adam Gase's team, and it was. But before that, it was Todd Bowles' teams, and it was definitely Rex's team, right? Rex, even to when it was Rex and Tanny. And then Rex, look, he survived the Tanny firing. So it was definitely Rex's team. So it's not far-fetched to say it's not a groundbreaking revelation that it's Aaron Glenn's team. But I think the point attached to that being that it's a good thing that it's Aaron Glenn's team. Like Aaron Glenn's coming in here as a guy, number one, he's a New York Jet. Okay? He's a New York Jet. He was drafted by the Jets. He played for the Jets. He went to Pro Bowls and everything for the Jets. He went to the championship game with us in Denver. So he suffered that same disappointment, did all the stuff that we did. And then when he left the league after a player, when he came back into the personnel part of his career, he started, guess where? Right here with the New York Jets for 2 years. He was our scout. He was an area scout for the New York Jets. And so he's got Jets in his blood. And he's coming here with, think about it. He's got the Parcells background. He's got the Sean Payton background, coached under Sean Payton, which is a very positive thing. And then he went and he's been coaching under, as a main piece of the team that revitalized another suffering franchise. Like, very much. If we have brothers in pain in the league, you can argue that the Detroit Lions are our closest bedfellow. You know what I mean? Like, you got the Browns, right? You got the Jaguars, you got the Cardinals. Jaguars a little newer, but, at least as far compared to those teams. But, you look at the Detroit Lions and they've never, granted, since I've been alive, I've never seen a Super Bowl, so it might as well be never. But at least we have that, the old, where is it? Right there. The old Namath era, we can point to it, and we have a heyday. At least they don't have it. But we're talking pre-merger, all that shit for the Lions. So they haven't even been to a Super Bowl. So it's one of those things where Aaron Glenn was a part of that, coaching under Dan Campbell alongside Ben Johnson. They were the brain trust. So when he comes here and he brings that no nonsense, like, look, love him or hate him, Robert Saleh was a big old puss. It's the truth. He wouldn't discipline everybody. He didn't believe in accountability. He would say comments like, what do you want me to do? Make him do push-ups? He would say things like, I don't think that the players are men. These are grown men. They don't need to be told what they did wrong. They need to know how to fix it. Dude, that is just so far off course from what's needed in a combat sport. It's so wrong. And I hated it. I rooted for Robert Saleh. He's got a lot of redeeming qualities. All the stuff, you can find a lot to like about Robert Saleh, and the guy knows defense. Can't take that away from him. But let's be fucking frank. The team, there was no accountability here. We didn't figure out a way to win more than 7 games with, quite frankly, a lot of talent on the team. So let's see if Jake answered. Jake, you're a cop, right? Did you answer the cop thing? Not a cop. Just loving Virginia. I would be happily take a cop job here as opposed to New York. Yeah. All right. Hopefully you didn't get your teeth knocked out in Virginia. Let's see what else we got. Let me end the poll. Well, let me do this. The chat wants to see GreenBean's company. 84. Okay, so we'll do that in just a second. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Ron Weiss, my good buddy, checking in. Congrats, my man. The country needs to realize how much emotional and mental illness can turn to severe physical pain. Need to treat it in the same way. Great job, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm trying to look, honestly, I believe in I'm onboarding somebody right now. And one of the things I said to them, there's this little group that I'm onboarding. And I said to them, make no mistake, we're changing the world. That's what I said. That's the kind of shit that I believe. Like, under my and my partner's leadership, make no mistake, our goal is to change the world and nothing short of that. So, like, we're not just here to, like, make a bunch of money and, like, that'll come. But what I want to do is change the fucking world. I want to change legislation. I want to go to the highest levels. So, Ron, I appreciate that comment, my friend. Sincerely, thank you. And I see some good comments on Aaron Glenn. I'll get to those in a second too. JJ Thompson, just real quick, want to honor his feelings. JJ, you're the best. Jake checking back in says Rex wanted to be a Jet. Glenn is a Jet. He wanted it. I argued this with you at the time. Let's hope I was right. Right on, man. You guys know. And remember, I wasn't like, anti Aaron Glenn. I know why people liked him, but I was on a different train. I really wanted the Jets to break the cycle of rookie defensive head coaches. That's what I wanted. Now, but what did I also say, Jake? If it's got to be a rookie defensive coach, it's got to be Aaron Glenn. You know what I mean? But I wanted to break that cycle of rookie defensive coach paired with a rookie general manager. I wanted to break the cycle. At least we broke it a little bit, which, we didn't go out and knowing that we're going to go into this draft and trade up and pair a rookie defensive head coach with a rookie offensive coordinator and a rookie GM. And then we do the final piece. We bring in a rookie quarterback to be the savior, right? At least we're not doing that. We got a guy who's, look, like him or hate him, JJ Hamza. We know what side he's on. But he's been in the league. He's shown progress. You know what I mean? So there's reason to believe, and it's a little bit different. So maybe next year we go get our rookie quarterback, but by that time we'll have a year under their belt, a year in the trenches, so to speak. I don't really love the war analogies for football because I don't mean to demean the real shit that soldiers go through. And, veterans and all that. I don't mean to do that, but you know what I mean. So, but thank you. Robert Saleh was a blowhard. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I know. Look, and I liked him, but he wasn't my guy either. When we brought him in, I jumped on board real quick because I want him to succeed, and I'll do that. But he wasn't my guy. I tell you what, I liked him a whole bunch more than Arthur Smith, who was the guy a lot of Jets Nation wanted, man. I was like, fucking Arthur Smith, huh? I was like, that guy's going to get swallowed by this area. There's no way. Arthur Smith's doomed. So at least Saleh, I felt like could handle it, but he couldn't. He looked like he was gaunt, right? All right, let me end this poll. So thank you, guys. I'll show you real quick. We'll derail for a moment and jump back into Aaron Glenn. I'll show you guys what my business is, okay? Here we go. So this is what I'm doing, everybody. Now I'm going to refresh the page for you. So let me get it nice and big. Is that the biggest I can make it? Let me see. Yeah, I guess so. So here we go. I'll refresh it. This is what it is. So this is what we're doing. So you see, we treat opiates. So the company is called Quits. And right now we're treating opioid addiction primarily, but we've just added alcohol. So we're going to be able to treat, this is 100% telehealth medication assisted treatment. It's called harm reduction. So I come from abstinence. I did most of my career in abstinence. And then the last 2 years, I did methadone. I was the executive director of a methadone clinic. But this is so we're also doing nicotine relief. So nicotine dependence. So you can see, I'll show you. Did my picture go up there yet? Let me show you guys the deal. Let's see down here. So here's the page. So that's my partner, Dr. Luis Pucci. Yeah, he's the guy. That's my partner right there. And here I come. That's my real name, everybody. So if you guys know. When I went down to Florida last week, I took this picture. So you see look, this is I'll show you this, then we'll get off of it. This is my quote. What do you guys think of this? My belief is that everyone is redeemable. There is a valuable and successful person living inside of every addicted individual. If we remove the obstacles in the way of someone receiving the treatment they need, we can find them. That's my quote for this website. And if you're interested, you can go and read about my career and all the stuff, all the stuff. So there I am. Look at that guy. Look at that. I fucking hate it. My beard's crooked. It bothers me. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's my business. What do you think? Not bad, right? And then you do all this stuff. I'll just show you. And it's 3 steps: assessment, appointment, and the prescription, And we do care coordination and case management and all that kind of stuff for them too. Looks pretty good, right? And that's my blog section. Everything you need to know, all the stuff. Right? And then you got, let's see. We got all kinds of information on here for you, what the medications do and all that kind of stuff. See? See, not bad, right? So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. I'll go to the bottom real quick, see what you guys think. You guys like it? Not bad, right? Not bad, Martin. Thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, Paris. Thanks, Infrared. Right on, John. Yeah, thanks, Indy Jets. That's not what I'm talking about, buddy. I'm talking about addicted individuals. And I do believe everybody's redeemable. The addicted community is often looked at as throwaway. They deserve it, or fuck them, or you know what I mean? And look, again, at one time, the guy you see before you was sleeping in a hallway in Newark, New Jersey, in the projects, and you'd see me down at Penn Station asking for money. You know what I mean? Or walking around. So I was one of those people that was thrown away. So again, if you would have looked at me then, you would never think that the guy before you exists in that person. And I've seen it thousands of times, So anyway, thank you, John. So there you go. All right, let me back it up. We'll talk about, I see another super chat. Let me get that. As you know, they cut the line. Jake checking back in. I don't want to get political. I lost 2 brothers on fentanyl. That isn't a drug anyone wants intentionally. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, the last bag of heroin I ever shot into my arm happened to be fentanyl, and I didn't know it. It was before we knew what fentanyl was. We didn't know it was out there, okay? And I shot a bag in my arm. I got behind the wheel of a car, which I did all the time. I'm not saying it's right, but it's what I did. And I drove through a telephone pole. I tell the story all the time in front of the Turtleback Zoo on Northfield Avenue in West Orange. And I tore down the power lines. I shut down the zoo for a little while. That's what the cops told me. They were mad. They were not happy with me that day. Yeah, but it knocked me out. If I didn't hit that, I thank God for that telephone pole. If I didn't hit that telephone pole, it's my belief that I would have gone home and I would have put more into my system, and I was definitely overdosing. Definitely. Because I had a bunch more. My plan was to use it. I was going to get high that day. I remember the day. And I just did a little bit because I was in withdrawal. I did a little, just enough to get me home. And I ended up driving right through a fucking telephone pole, dead center. In a Ford Expedition, I went right through the telephone pole. It fell across the street and didn't kill anybody. So I didn't even hit anybody. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just so grateful. It was a amazing day. So I'm a firm believer in doing whatever we can to get fentanyl off these damn streets. And now the new shit, Trank. You guys hear about that? It's even fucking worse. So think about this, and then we'll get back to the Jets. But there's a medication out there called Narcan, right? That if somebody overdoses, you can give it to them, whether it's an IM shot or nasal. You can wake them up out of an overdose. You can save their life. Trank, which is what you see in Kensington and Philly and Vancouver, that people just slumped over. That's Trank. And what it does, think about this. So we have one tool to save everybody's life, and Trank is Narcan resistant. They figured out a way to make it so the one tool we have to save somebody doesn't work. So it's even scarier. It's getting scarier and scarier out there, which is why I went from like abstinence to harm reduction. Like, dude, let's just stop the madness and then we can work on the next steps and whatever we need to do to get you sober. I do use Suboxone in my treatment. Suboxone, buprenorphine, naltrexone, things like that. Danger zone. Don't forget to send me your email, Dano. You won last night. Dano won the House of Atlas razor, and Messina won. I'm going to ship the probably like, I think I go back to town on I'll probably ship it Thursday to both of you guys. So, and Mr. Messina, our Liberty student, won the Mando deodorant. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'll ship those out. Don't forget, I don't think I saw your email, Dano. So make sure. I think it's you, right? I'm pretty sure. Send me the your information so I can send it out to you. Infrared, our good buddy checking in, says, I actually think the players are going to acknowledge the fact that Coach Glenn was a premium player back in the day, and that he doesn't take shit from nobody. Put in the work and produce. Dude, that's all we ask, right? Like, look, you got a guy like Malachi Corley who, all right, they're working him in slow. It's fine. Okay, fine. He gets a play. He gets an opportunity, and he runs around the outside, and he gets to the end zone, and he makes a mistake, and he drops the ball an inch before the end zone. Crazy. Stupid, ill-advised, but definitely not indicative of somebody who that doesn't warrant more playing time, right? You coach him, you talk to him, you go, bro, we're never going to do that again. You know, that kind of a thing. And you put him back on the field. Instead, they made him an active or a healthy scratch for much of the season. Right? But, and then you got guys that are missing blocks, penalties, dropping balls, whether it's Lazard, whether it's Gibson, whether it's Tyron Smith, whether whatever, through the years, there's no accountability. All we're asking for is this. Like Parcells in the beginning of my Thursday Thick of It intro, right? He says, you're going to play if you're whatever he said, but if you're not going to, if you don't want to play, then go sit on the bench. Like, then just get the fuck off my field. You're going to do what I want you to do, or you're going to sit down. I don't care what your name is. That's the way it's got to be. And if you do that, if you set that tone, right? If you set that tone, then that's the way that everybody lives, and they know. And then nobody gets in their feels when it's me. If you don't do if you're not doing what's asked, everybody knows. If you don't do it, this is what happens. And then it's not like, so like Salah had, I mean, dude, we never heard of this stuff. Oh, unless it was Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles had people fighting, fist fighting in the locker room. Don't forget. Geno Smith, our starting quarterback, had his jaw broken in his own locker room. And during that same coach's tenure, we had Sheldon Richardson and Brandon Marshall scream matches in the locker room. Like, what is this? Like Aaron Glenn, Parcells would walk in and say, are you kidding me? There's no way this is going to happen in here. But we have no discipline. The organization is soft. We're scared. Robert Saleh, again, he's clearly a good man. And he's clearly a very good defensive mind, right? We're not taking that away from him. And dude, I don't know anybody that can run steps like this guy, right? So he's got all kinds of qualities. He's ripped. Very healthy, so he's leading by example in the health side and fitness. Great. Positives. And he's a super motivational speaker guy. Great. But everybody on that team knew, if you're friendly, buddy, chummy with Robert Saleh, you don't have to worry about much. And the same thing went for Jeff Ulbricht. Jeff Ulbricht, looking back, knows damn well he didn't do it right. He didn't handle the promotion well. Now, you can't, you can't know what you don't know. right? Like he said, when he was interviewed for when he got the Atlanta defensive coordinator job, they asked him questions, and they said, he looked back. He said, "Well, in hindsight, I probably should have relinquished my defensive coordinator duties, but he didn't want to, or whatever the reason. But looking back, I'm about to do the most difficult job in the whole organization for the first time ever mid-season. Maybe, just maybe, I should focus on only that." But no, he was still calling the defense, which means he's not focusing on the offense. So you got Downing and Hackett and Aaron Rodgers. And you know what I mean? So I think Infrared's right. It's about setting that tone. And I like what you said, too. There is some value. I don't think you need to be a player to garner respect from your players, from your team. You know what I mean? I don't think you need it, obviously, Andy Reid or whoever. But it's like when you do have that, you come in as a player, there is still value to it. Aaron Glenn was an elite cornerback. Like, again, outside of Darrelle Revis, the argument can be made that he's the best cornerback that ever played in a Jets uniform. I mean, you got James Hasty, you got Antonio Cromartie. These guys were badasses. They were certifiably, they were studs, not just Jet studs, right? Like we got players that are good Jets, but not necessarily good everywhere. But anyway, so I think bringing that to the table, guys, not only have I been where you are, but I was under one of the most, no-nonsense coaches in NFL history, Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells was the real deal. And the Belichicks of the world, the Tom Coughlins of the world, the Bill Parcells tree is very successful. These are Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and a lot of his guys got head coaching jobs, whether it be Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel. Not everybody succeeded Am I on? Can you guys hear me? Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. You can hear me. Okay, good. All right. Thank you. I got nervous. And now what was I talking about, man? But yeah, so, Aaron Glenn can say straight up, look, I played under Bill Parcells at a high level. I also played for Rich Kotite, if that means anything. So he's been in the doldrums, right? Aaron Glenn played on a 1-15 team. Aaron Glenn played on a 3-13 team. That's how he started his career. 3-13, 1-15, 9-7, 12-4, 8-8, 9-7. You know what I mean? So that's how it went for Aaron Glenn. But he also can say, but I coached under Sean Payton, Dan Campbell. You know what I mean? But he said, he can come in with that clout. And I like that, Infrared. I think that's a good point you make in there, buddy boy. All right, let me see. I saw another good comment from Red Bean. They're not only, look, man, you guys think of beans are only green beans. That's not the case. There are red beans. And here he is. Aaron Glenn said he would build a system that fits the players. Right? The greatest coaches can do something with the players that he has. If I only have this type of offensive lineman, excuse me, if I only have big, burly, road graders, then I'm going to build I'm not going to be doing, a wide zone blocking scheme. I'm going to be doing a man-power scheme. Why? Because it plays to their strengths. If I only have 6'4" wide receivers, you know what I mean? It's like Hey, oh, but I really need I need my guys to be able to do that. No. You have to be able to be the mind that figures out the system. Like it's like, if the defensive backs I have, they're good press man guys, but in zone, they don't look good. Like this Brandon Stevens guy. Turns out he's much better in a man scheme than he is in zone. So are you going to force him to play? If he's not going to work, then I got to get rid of him, and then I got to get another guy that plays well in this, and then it takes years while they figure I get all their players. You know what I mean? And then we don't know if they mesh. We got to give them time. You have to be able to build your system to fit the players' strengths that you have. Now, over time, if you start to refine that toward your what you really want to do, that's fine, right? As you draft and as you sign free agents and stuff, of course, get the players that can succeed in the system that you want to run. But dude, if it turns out, like what happens mid-season if you're a quarterback? Remember years ago, they used to do this thing. All the teams did it, where you had a starting quarterback. He's a pocket passer, right? He's a 6'4" pocket passer, strong arm, no mobility. And then your number two is a guy who's a running quarterback. So it's like, I like the idea is, you got versatility, you got, a variety of skill sets and all that. But what really happens in practical application a lot of the time is that your quarterback goes down, your system's built around that. And in order for this next guy to succeed, everything's got to be different or he's going to fail. And that's what we saw lots of times here. Like we had a really good young quarterback in Jeff Blake. Remember Jeff Blake? He was a mid-round pick. Oh, man. Wow, that was a really good eye rub, everybody. We had a young guy, Jeff Blake. I think he was like a 6th-round pick, and he sat out as a 3rd-string quarterback for a while. And I forget who this is, but we had our typical starting quarterback, our pocket passing guy, no mobility and whatever. And then he ends up going to the Bengals. And they, you know what I mean? And he ends up being this great quarterback, but we could never utilize him. When he would get in for the Jets, he didn't look very good because it's like you got to change everything. So what you want to do is like over time, right? You want to have like, if your quarterback goes down, you want to have that similar skill set coming off the bench so you can continue the scheme, right? So again, as you start to build your team, you get the players that are going to fit what you're doing, what you're building. But if you look at your team and you have this variety of guys, it's not like, well, this year's a wash. I don't have the types of players I like. Get that guy out of my building. If that's in the interview process, it's like, look, I got Garrett Wilson, I got Breece Hall, I got Braylon Allen, I got Jeremy Ruckert, whatever. You know what I mean? I got these guys. I got Malachi Corley. What can you run an offense with those guys? The guy has to say, oh, yeah, I know exactly what to do with Malachi Corley. I know exactly how to utilize Garrett Wilson and maximize his skill set. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. And Aaron Glenn is talking about that. That's the way. Refreshing. I agree, Red Bean. Coordinators put players in their scheme. Head coaches build a scheme to fit their players. I love it. That's the best. All right, let me catch up now. So Danger Zone, our buddy checking in. I DM'd you my info on X. You got to be careful with X. My thread on X was 95% Jets for a long time. And lately it's gotten exceedingly political. Now, not to say I don't have interest and I look at some stuff, but it's kind of taken over. And I try to like groom my algorithm to get more of the Jet stuff. And so I don't know. When I go on, I'd stay away from Twitter a lot recently because it's fucking aggravating. You know what I mean? I'm like, So I just want to look and see what's going on with the NFL, Ian Rappaport, you know? So anyway, you got to be careful with that. But thank you for telling me because I wouldn't have looked for a while, probably. But good. So thank you. Thank you. Billy says Salah was a nice guy. What's up, Billy? He very much seemed like a spectator. Dude, no doubt. Him and Bowles and Gase. All three of them. So think about it. 4 years of Salah, 2 years of Gase, 4 years of Bowles. That's 10 years of watching coaches on the sideline that don't coach mid-game. There's nothing that bothers me more. I like my coach walking around with the clipboard, looking at everything, going over to players when they run off the field, running over, talking shop. Like, I don't understand this mindset of like, okay, well, we prepared all week. I did, I worked. We did our drills. We ran our schemes. We have our game plan. And then when the game's on, you're just watching. Now, Robert Saleh, and it to his credit, would argue with the refs. He wasn't completely out. Like Gase looked like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. And Bowles was even worse than Saleh when he was here. I haven't kept up with him down at Tampa Bay. I don't know if he's, doing more. But like, if your game plan isn't working and you, like Belichick said this, by about play 10 or 15, you already know if what you've planned is gonna work. Sometimes you got to make your adjustments in the game. Play 15. You're like, you know what? What we thought was going to happen isn't going to work. We got to change it now. We saw a lot of the time during the Saleh regime, they would do their halftime adjustments. Now, again, in their defense, to their credit, a lot of the time we came out in the second half and looked like a different team. That's great. That's a positive. But the fact that we had to wait because there's no coaching going on during the game. The head coach isn't barking orders to his coordinators. And the other thing that bothered me about Robert Saleh in particular was when the game was going poorly, it's my view that that's when the coach should be coaching the most. Like, what is this idea that like the 3 hours that you're in the game, that should be the hardest you work all week. All week. You should be, that 3 hours, you should be running around, screaming things, fixing things, talking to players, figuring out what happened there. You know what I mean? And for a head coach, leaving it to your coordinators, if it's failing, is a mistake. Like Robert Saleh said at the beginning of this season, I'm going to be more involved in the offensive meetings. Well, what I hear when he says that is I'm not involved in the offensive meetings. What do you mean you got to be more involved in the offensive meetings? What does that mean? Are you not? Year 4? You've had the worst offense in the NFL, or at least among the worst offenses in the NFL for 3 straight years, and you're just figuring out now that the head coach should be and that's what I'm saying. Like a head coach should be the head coach. He's got to manage the entire game. You know what I mean? But with that being said, that means you are coaching. Robert Saleh, when we were doing great, he needed a get back. I've shared this 1,000 times. I hate to be repetitive, but he's so animated. He's so into the game when we're doing something well, that he has a get back coach. We have to have a guy on the sideline that physically has to hold him back, which is just the most ridiculous thing to me. It reeks of lack of discipline. It reeks of it. My head coach, and I know they look at it as a positive. It's not a positive. He's so excited when we do good things that he cannot contain himself. Now, you want to run down the sideline and during a touchdown and I'm fine with that. Go ahead. You want to jump up and down and high five? I love it all. The fact that we need a get back coach is ridiculous. And the problem really is that's not the time to be losing your shit. That's the time to be, thinking about the next thing that you're doing, right? And when we're doing poorly, What did Robert Saleh do? He stood there. He looked like he was bored, or he looked sad. Like, what are the players supposed to do when the head coach is moping around the sideline because nothing's going right? You're the fucker who's supposed to be fixing this stuff, right? So hopefully Aaron Glenn is going to be different. Sam Aiken checking in. Thank you, buddy. He says, Robert Saleh wanted volunteers. How can you pay people and want volunteers? Dude, perfectly stated. And the truth is this isn't a volunteer sport. This is a sport where you are the boss. You are the leader. You are the commander. You tell them what to do. And if they don't want to do it, then that's a problem that you have to address. And if it's in real time, if it's happening in real time, then it's addressed in real time. Right now, before this game is over and we lose it. This game. This one. Right, Sammy Sams? You know. Yeah, so Billy says Parcells was completely involved in the game and he didn't care who you were. He would cut you or bench you if you didn't perform. It's the truth. Here, look, let me show you. I want to get the clip up. I'll play my intro for the Thursday Thick of It real quick, just until the Parcells piece. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Real quick, and then we'll talk about it. Listen to this. You got to go through a couple because I do it sequentially, right? So, here, check out Parcells.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just get over on the bench and stay there. Stay there. Get on the bench. If you don't want to do what I need you to do, get on the bench. I don't need you. I'll put somebody on the field that's willing to do what I want to do. It's a great quote. I'm glad I picked it. Very good choice, GreenBean. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No problem. I'm really a big fan of you, GreenBean. Really? Oh, that's touching. No, it's because you're so good looking. Oh, I didn't even. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't have, I didn't. Stop it. No. You're one of the best looking men and you're so funny. And really, I'm a huge fan. Oh, this is so good. Thank you. I appreciate that. What the hell just happened? Okay. Frank Marcotte. Let me see. That was a response to Billy. Let's see what else we got here. Yeti checking in with his Stream Beaner super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, Yeti. I appreciate it. Anybody can do that if you'd be so inclined. The join button is right under the video here. It helps the channel immensely. And you get the emojis, you get the free super chats. I haven't dropped any private content in a minute, but I will. I have a bunch on deck. I should drop one this week. Let me drop one this week. Private content only for the Stream Beaners and the Beanbaggers. Let's see. Good to see real family present. Love you, GreenBean. Really appreciate all of your perspectives and shows. Killing me softly. Oh, good. That whole thing I just did with myself. Yeti, you've touched me. I'm touched, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sincerely. And I appreciate you guys. Like, for real, for real. You guys make it all okay. Like, especially like during the game streams. Shit, man. We have watched 7 wins, whatever. Last 5 wins, 7 wins. A couple years before that, 2 wins. We did all that together live. Without you guys, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Yeti. Jake checking back in says, GreenBean, I live an hour away. We won't even watch a game or hang. Nobody would pay us. Maybe they should. Not a coach. Well, listen to this. So just so you know who I am, really, I don't watch games. Like I haven't gotten together with friends like and watched a game in a long. Now, a lot of that happens to be because I sit right here. My son, I watch games with my son, and he's very wisely. He looks at me like halfway through the game. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm going to go live my life." I'm like, "Go." You know, it's like the game we haven't even gotten past the 50-yard line in the first half, like that kind. He's like, "You know what, Dad?" I'm like, "Go." He's a diehard fan. He's in, but he's very wisely. He's 17 years old, and he's thinking to himself, "I could be doing something better. I could be doing something better." I'm like, "Fucking save yourself, man." That's how I feel about it. But yeah, thanks, Jake. But yeah, I mean, if you're watching a game with me, you would be sitting right here. You'd be watching the back of my head, and the TV's up here in silence. I don't have the game sound on. It's brutal. How many times, right? I'm like, what are they saying? What do they got? What are they saying? You guys have to tell us what's going on. Me and Jets chaos. Oh, man. All right, let's see what else we got. The Jetstream checking in. What's up, buddy? He says, we thought we were getting the San Francisco D coordinator, Saleh. We didn't. We got the mostly tame, trying too hard to look reserved Saleh. We need high energy Saleh. Well, yeah, remember in his interview, there was that clip that came out of his interview and he said, or then even in his presser, he said the same thing. So what are we going to get with a Robert Saleh regime? And he said, all gas, no brake. Okay, fine. But even look, I get it. And I'm not one to nitpick little quirky sayings necessarily. I'm not. But it's funny because even when he said that, we talked about it. We talk as we do, right? On these podcasts and YouTube videos, live streams and such. But I remember saying then, we joked about it, Ryan and O'Leary and myself, we said, well, you do need the brakes. Like all gas, no brake. Like just as a core message is flawed. Like I'm telling, look again, I've said I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but not great. All gas, no brake. And that's why, remember the first year and a quarter of the Saleh regime. Do you guys remember what the defensive flaw was? Do you guys remember it? We had a major flaw on defense, major, and it was painful to watch. I want to see if somebody puts it in the chat. You guys remember what it was? For the whole entire first year and up until the Cincinnati Bengals game when Quinnen Williams lost his mind on Aaron Whitecotton on the sideline. There it is. Sam Macon got it. Right here. The screen pass. And you want to know why the screen pass worked so well against our Jets at the time? Because of all gas, no brake. That's why. Because, and he said as much, Olbrich said the same thing. Yeah, Bishop got it, right? Over pursuit. Aaron Daniels, right. They said it. They boasted about it. Remember when we were talking about Carl Lawson? Is that we want our defensive line to rush as if their ass was on fire. We want them, there's no read react. Which again, to a degree, I'm fine with. But they are going to rush as if their ass is on fire. So when you do that, what that creates is a situation where your linebackers have to be exceptional cleanup, exceptional. Because if you don't, what it creates is a beautiful opportunity. You can, dude, a good offensive coordinator looks at a defense like that and goes, I'm going to be using their over pursuit, their aggression against them. I'm going to let them come in 3/4 of the rush, 3/4 of the way, and I'm going to throw it right over their head. And I'm going to get 5 to 15 yards a clip. And they did it to us all day long. The problem is, I'm going to tell you what it was. Because if you're going to do that and you're running a 4-2-5, you're creating, you're not putting your best tacklers on the field, which should be your linebackers. We took one off the field for a nickelback, which, okay, is fine, but on like first down or whatever, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. You're creating, and all they got to do is send a bunch of, they can send a few go routes. So you're taking your guys out of the field. You have the two linebackers, and CJ Mosley, with all due respect, was really the only guy worth a shit for a minute there. We had to get Quincy. We had to get Sherwood up to speed, the whole thing. But so you got CJ Mosley responsible for too much space. You just, dude, listen, you send a tight end into his zone and he's out of the play. And you just dump it off into the screen. And then you're depending on cornerbacks and safeties, which we don't put a lot of effort into because we don't value the safety position. So again, like, look, I'm not taking it. Salah's a much, much greater defensive mind than I am. And they fixed it, which is fine. But that's the whole thing. When you have a all gas, no break mentality, there's an opportunity for the offense there over pursuit. And that's why, exactly, like delayed runs, all that kind of shit. Tight ends, it kills you because, and that's like, and then on top of that, what did we see? And this really never went away. What do we see? We see our cornerbacks giving, 8 to 10 yard cushions. So it's just, it's fucking madness, Anyway, wow, I really digress. I really slid into a wormhole there, a rabbit hole, actually, not a wormhole. Sam checking back in. Thank you, Sam. He says, good coaching, playing an undrafted quarterback, Ray Lucas, in a bunch of games, Ray Mickens in our secondary. Dude, it's a great point. The sad part about the Ray Lucas thing is that, so that year when Testaverde went down, that was the best team the Jets had since, probably since the Super Bowl years. That team was stacked. The problem is the quarterback went down. Now, we had Rick Meyer as quarterback number 2. Now, Rick Meyer was the second overall pick in the draft just a handful of years before that. Now, he was a failure. I believe he was Seattle. He didn't do so well, but the idea that he's a better option than Ray Lucas, I don't think anybody would have argued that. Ray Lucas was a college quarterback playing wide receiver. You know what I mean? It was like, he was like a Parcells project. So he was like kind of our third quarterback, but you had Rick Meyer, who should have been able to come in with that team. He had Keyshawn, he had Krebet, should have been able to come in and play. The defense was crazy stacked. So you should have been able to come in and play well enough to just be a piece in the machine and game manage, which Parcells is fine with. That's how he won the Super Bowl in '86 with Phil Simms. Phil Simms had the highest quarterback rating, the most accurate quarterback in Super Bowl history, at least up until that point, largely because he threw high percentage passes short yardage, dump off type of thing. Just manage the game. Boop, beep, boop. 6 yards here, 5 yards there, 8 yards there, 4 yards here. That's what they did the whole time. They owned the clock. You know what I mean? They just played smart, efficient football and let the defense win the game. That's what they did. And Rick Meyer should have been able to do that. Parcells hung on to Rick Meyer 1 week too long. 1 week too long. When Ray Lucas came in, the New York Jets, and they settled in, they were playing the best. They were playing among the best football in the entire NFL. That team, if we would have squeaked into the playoffs one more game and we were in the playoffs, we ended up being 8-8. If we were 9-7, we would have been in. If that team got into the playoffs, they could have very well made the Super Bowl with Ray Lucas. I'm telling you. They were kicking everybody's ass. It just 1 week too late. It's a shame. But again, like you're saying, that's coaching. Rick Meyer happened to be a complete waste of time. And you could say it's a coaching mistake, but you understand why. Ray Lucas, it was like, okay, we're going to go with this kid. Let me see something here. Is there any footage? I can't show it, but I'm curious. Let's see if there's any Ray Lucas Jets footage. Career highlights. First thing they do is they show him on the Miami Dolphins. Let me see. Look at Ray. Oh my God, the tape. It looks like I'm watching the fucking 1950s. Like he was a running quarterback too. Oh man. I'm going to drop the link so you can see Ray Lucas and the Jets. Now they're showing some Miami stuff. Look at that. Deep ball. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you can see it. If you guys, watch it later. You right, John? My son's smart. He wants so badly for the Jets to win, but he's like, he's smart, dude. Like, I support it. Like I told you, I tried to make my son into a Ravens fan. My wife is from Baltimore and she's a Ravens fan. She's become over the years more and more. She's a Jets fan now. But we bought him his whole childhood. I got him Ravens onesies and Ravens jerseys as a kid. I really tried. I wanted my son to have a good life. You know what I mean? So it didn't work though. He's like, he wanted to be with daddy. That's the whole thing. So he said, yeah, Rick Meyer, Notre Dame, Seahawks. That's what I thought. Yeah, Grandizer says, when a rabbit hole turns into a wormhole, just hope you can find your way out. Yeah, man. Sometimes you never know if you're coming back. Infrared says, Braylon Allen had 34 yards. Brees had 4 yards against the Denver Broncos in week 4. Losing to Bo Nix with him passing for 69 yards that game. No wonder. Dude, let me tell you, that was the one game I went to last year live. And that was our big meetup with the Talking Jets. That was a brutal offensive display with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Like, we couldn't do a damn thing. Now, that was majorly impacted by the inadequacy of our left tackle, Tyron Smith. Aaron Rodgers was getting killed that game. Killed. We couldn't do anything. And Tyron Smith was a big problem. Big problem. I thought that the Jets benched him. Well, I thought that Ulbrich benched him, but it turned out he was hurt. If he didn't get hurt, make no mistake, Jeff Ulbrich would have benched him. He wouldn't have. This coaching staff had no balls. They had no balls in them. They did not have the juice to, like you saw it on Hard Knocks. When we brought Aaron Rodgers in, there was all these clips of Robert Saleh and Ulbrich talking. They were like, oh my God, look at that ball. Oh my God. Like it was like when Mangini and Brett Favre. Mangini was like sucking on his teat, the whole time. It's like Brett Favre came in and he was like the man. Now, I think to a degree you can't avoid that, but you're still the coach. Mangini gave his son the middle name Brett. It's like crazy, man. You could see him. They were like fawning over him. Like, can't be that. I remember watching that Hard Knocks. I'm like, this ain't good. I hope it works. I'm in. I'm whatever, but that's not a good look. Like, we were starstruck. So when things went wrong, you're starstruck and you want to be buddies with the great Aaron Rodgers. You can't do anything. You can't be hard because you already set the tone. The tone's got to be set otherwise. The tone's got to be set from the word go. This is my team. I appreciate you, respect you. We're going to put you in a position to win, but this is what you're going to do because you're coming on to my team. Where did Tyron go this year? He's done, dude. Right? Let me see. Let me make sure. I can't imagine Tyron Smith ever plays again. He was atrocious last year. Yeah, he's a free agent. I don't think. I mean, if he gets signed, it'll be because of injuries, that kind of a thing. And then he'll go somewhere. He'll end up playing great football. Like somebody will sign him week 6, and he'll end up being this reclamation story. You know how it goes. Because he was atrocious, just man to man, straight up. He sucked. Right? There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was getting beat on a play-by-play basis. But this offensive line crew that we've had, everybody who came here sucked. That's why it was so amazing last year to see them kind of gel and come together. Doesn't help when you're changing the damn players every year. Right. Infrared says, it rains, you run the goddamn ball, baby. It's not rocket science. Yeah. How many times did Aaron Rodgers throw the ball? We couldn't do anything that game. It's atrocious. The coaching is everything. My buddy Matt Simon, what's up, Matt? He says, I hope this staff will be better. I know, we don't know. But I'll tell you what I do like. Again, we talked about Aaron Glenn a lot, and I think his messaging is exactly what I want to see. Exactly what we want. It's not filled with slogans and all this shit. I'm so sick of it. But what we really, I think the most important thing to me is that you have a young offensive coordinator who's been a part of an electric offense, and not for nothing was also a part of, Jared Goff. While he's been okay, he's been good. Don't forget, he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, so it's not like he was garbage. But they gave Detroit Jared Goff and 2 firsts for Matt Stafford. He was a throw-in. What that offensive staff, Brunell, Ben Johnson, Tanner Engstrand, and the rest, what they did with Jared Goff, he threw for 4,800 yards last year. And let me see. I forget. Like fucking 45 touchdowns, something crazy. Let me see. 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a 72.4 completion percentage, and a 111.8 quarterback rating. Like, he's a part of that. You're not going to say it was all Tanner Engstrand, but that's what he's coming from. So this is a 21st century offense. Like, dude, for just years, we just keep going back to this, like, old, even like Bowles. What did he do? He came in. Bowles had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years here. How are we supposed to get anything done? 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years, but better yet, 2 of the 3 were retired when he hired them. Chan Gailey and Bates, Jeremy Bates. You can't find somebody that's in the league, damn it. Sodak checking in. Did you see Glenn chirping Chimney and Antoine? I don't know what that means. Oh, yes. Yes, I do know what that means. Yes, I do. Aaron Glenn, dude, he's not having it. Like, the thing is, he came from here. He knows. He's not like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys, like I say all the time, you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. The one problem with all these coaches and GMs that we hire is they don't factor in that we're the New York Jets and we're not where they came from. Robert Saleh comes from the wonderful land of San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they've had some bad years, but by and large, they've been a very successful franchise for a very long time. Joe Douglas came from the Ravens. He went to Chicago for 1 year. He was born and raised in the administrative side of things in football, NFL, for the Baltimore Ravens under Ozzie Newsome and Phil Savage. He goes to Chicago for 1 year. He slums it for 1 year. And then he goes to the Eagles with Harry Roseman, and they win the Super Bowl. So he's got the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, they've struggled to win Super Bowls and things like that over the years, but they're a very successful franchise overall. The Baltimore Ravens, they might not have all the rings, but they are among the elite teams every single year for a very long time. And they have 2 Super Bowl rings in the past, however long, since 2000, right? So when they come here, they don't factor in that we're the New York Jets. And part of that is dealing with the Jets media, right? That's another part of it. So when they come here, they try to be all chummy with the media guys, the Dick Chimneys of the world, the Canizaros and whatever, all these guys. And they don't know that these guys will smile and they ask these questions and they're just looking for the gotcha. And they will write a full article on how much of a tard you are. They don't care. That's what they're doing. Aaron Glenn arrives and already knows. And he's like, hey, fuckface. You think I'm stupid? You know what I mean? Like, it is an intro presser. Aaron Glenn came up and said, I know you guys are going to ask about Aaron Rodgers. Here's the answer for all the questions. I'm not fielding any more Aaron Rodgers questions. They were like, but that's my whole list. Sorry. That's what it is. Here's the answer. Next. I love it. Ablab's in the house. What's up, Ablab? Good to see you, buddy. He says, gang, Tanner was passing game coordinator and he was on the clock when Detroit transformed Goff. Hopefully Fields, who is more talented, can benefit. Right. Fields being more athletically gifted than Jared Goff can benefit. Dude, I'm right with you, Ablab. Like, again, and we've talked, right? I don't know that either one of us or most of us can be called Fields guy. I'm definitely not a Justin Fields guy, right? Although I did like him as a prospect coming out, whatever. I liked him. Thought he was he had potential if he goes to the right team. You know what I mean? I liked him. He was a one-read guy. Didn't like that. I thought that he ran too quickly, but you can coach. If you got a good coach, you can develop him, right? That's the job. But he's got all the physical tools you want. Rocket arm, great legs, all the stuff. Bringing him on here is the right move. Now, I personally, the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams thing, running it back, I mean, I don't know. But I get it. You can't bring in a bunch of rookies and have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams collective in here. They already own the shop. If you're going to make it your team, you can't do it. It's just not worth it. I get it. But bringing in Justin Fields, it's like, you know what you're doing. It's my job to not only develop this guy further, but it's my job to surround him with the best opportunity to succeed and to put him into the positions that are going to give him the best opportunity to succeed. This offense needs to be designed around Justin Fields. And the great thing is that we got a backup with a similar skill set, even though he's older and the whole thing, right? And not quite as physically gifted. But Tyrod Taylor has a similar skill set as Justin Fields. So in the event he gets hurt, or the guy comes in for a game or two, you're able to run the same offense. We don't know what's going to happen at QB3, but Jordan Travis, if he's still here, has a similar skill set. So you can develop this offense and know that if something happens, an injury or whatever, a twisted labia, you're out for a week and a half, 2 weeks, you know that you don't have to revamp and change everything. You just put this guy in and you run the same scheme. I think it's beautiful. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Next year is a strong quarterback class, and you can do what you got to do. You can figure it out. But if it works, guys, you know what I mean? And see, what I like about this is that this staff is saying, give me the lump of clay. I'm the guy to do it. That's the guy. I can work with this guy. And I like that. And they just did it. He was a part of the collective, just like Ablab is saying, that turned Jared Goff's entire career around. Make no mistake. When they sent Jared Goff to Detroit, he was a placeholder. Detroit now had a placeholder quarterback with Super Bowl experience, not old by any stretch, and they had 2 firsts in this draft and 2 firsts in the next draft. They were going to play Jared Goff, and they were going to say, okay, if we need to go get a quarterback, we have the ammo to do it. You know they're going to have a shitty pick like Detroit had for many years, and then we got another one if we need to move around a little bit. And they turned Jared Goff into Jared Goff. Now, the last game of the year in the playoffs, he threw a bunch of picks and didn't help. But shit happens. Guy threw 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 12 picks. And the year before that, in 2023, he had a 67.3 completion percentage, 4,575 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Year before that, much of the same, 4,400 yards. So think about it, dude. They turned Jared Goff. Granted, he had some of those years with McVay too, but he was on the downswing. The Rams gave 2 firsts and Jared Goff for Matt Stafford. It was a significantly older quarterback. You know what I mean? So anyway, Ablab throwing in another super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, Fields, low risk. If it doesn't work, we draft a quarterback in 26. High reward. If it works, we good. Right on, man. And that's exactly it. I think it makes perfect sense. You don't have to like Fields. And it might not work. But if it doesn't work, we got a strong quarterback class next year. This year is a force. This year is a square peg, round hole quarterback class. And you got some good guys like in the mids, whether it's Dart, Milrow, McCord, Ewers, any of these guys. Shock. It's a good year to do that, but I don't think we will this year because we might, but I don't think they will unless it's Milrow. If let's say hypothetically, Milrow's sitting there in the 3rd, I don't think it'll happen. I think they might take the shot on him. Because then you got Justin Fields and you got Milroe with Tyrod Taylor. It's like that's a interesting collection. Now, it's also can be said you got a bunch of inaccurate quarterback, that whole thing. But again, it's put on the coaching staff. This coaching staff is saying we can do it. And I like that. I'm impressed. Oh, I skipped a Wyatt. So, Dablab, thank you. And I'm right with you, bud. Truly. Wyatt, our buddy from Wyoming checking in, says, Glenn is the only thing giving me hope right now. I think that's, well, don't forget, you still got Sauce Gardner. I know people are kind of down on him right now. I'm not. You guys still got Garrett Wilson. You still got Breece Hall. You still got Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald. I like the Cisco kid we brought in. I like him a lot, actually. Brandon Stevens, going to be interesting to see. But we still got a nice young core. We got 4/5 of an offensive line. And I like them. They're young. Fashanu, I love. AVT, I love. He missed 2 games last year, but he played. When he's playing, he's a badass. Tippmann, I love. I don't know what they're doing with this Tippmann Myers thing. Good. Look, I have no problem with the starters knowing that there's competition for their job. I got no problem with that. Competition breeds success. Right? We know this. Nobody should be safe. Like, just because you're our starter doesn't look, there's a guy right here. If you decide that this is the year that you're going to slack, this guy's going to take your job. I like that. Work. Wyatt checking back in says, I just need us to draft one beautiful guy. Wyatt has a system. If you guys don't know this, if you're not a beanbagger, you might not know this. Wyatt has a system, which is the better looking they are, the more successful they'll be. I think he does his mock drafts by looks. Our young Marine Wyatt, Wyoming Jets fan. So it's fun. Wyatt's one of the most fun guys in my Jets life. I got to tell you, he's the best. So, Todd, reminding everybody to hit that like button. Give me those milk thumbs, everybody. Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you'd be so kind. I could use the support. You want to join the channel? That helps the channel greatly. Again, you get your super chats and your emojis, and I'll drop some more private content for you guys in the very, very near future. I like to drop my old comedy clips and stuff like that. But anyway, with that all said, it is midnight after all. I'm going to go to bed. Got a long day tomorrow. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me again. Please support the channel. It's very helpful. Tomorrow night, hopefully Tigo's feeling better. He's been very ill. So we'll do the Armchair GM tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the Talking Jets Network with Tigo, hopefully. And then Thursday, we'll be back for the Thursday Thick of It with the one and only Dom C and the always amazing Gunny coming right at you right here on the GreenBean channel. So tomorrow night, Talking Jets channel. Thursday night, right here, GreenBean channel. With that all said, everybody, I will see you next time. Have a great night.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.